So yeah, let's try this again. We won a Stanley Cup last time. The goal is to do it again. That's how it works. It's a franchise mode. You know this. And again, if this spoils something for you, you should have watched the other ones. What the hell are you doing? It's fine. I have a bit of a spoiler for this, though. Just a little bit of a spoiler. And that is that I went ahead and looked at what some of the contract situations are going to be. This offseason's going to suck. Let me elaborate. Again, this was the team that got it done. Our core players are very much intact. That's fine. It's when you look at expiring contracts, right? And again, for those that missed it, this was an idea. You start off with like ECHL level teams and only build up through the draft. This is what we're at right now to have it be a cup-winning team. Tuukka Saikala, as an RFA, wants $9.75 million for one season. Johan Lindgren, wants $14 million a season. You go down a little bit to 70 overall, Delorier, $9.7 million a season. So, WHA about to fold. No shit, huh? I have no idea what the hell is going to happen. Thank God these guys are RFAs. We are in line for one of the strangest off seasons ever, because this format of how to build up this league has completely broken the cap structure. My only hope is that this can lead to us maybe being okay in terms of successful offer sheets from other teams and us getting some draft picks. That's my kind of hope. I was also tempted to change up the team uniforms, but at least a little bit to represent a championship club. But you know what? Snipe and Score did good enough with them. I do love the way these look. Again, very WHA inspired. So we have a draft to go through, and then we'll see what madness happens next, as the Quebec Nordiques have the #1 overall pick in this draft. Edmonton at #2. Fair enough. Can't wait to get a second round pick that ends up being in the 90s. Could happen. Retired players. Frederick Forsberg, Riley Sheen. Obviously, these guys, of course, would have been on the European teams. Christopher N. He played, or Ein, I think it was. He played for Detroit. Ryan Fitzgerald. Defensively, Lucas Ekestad Janssen. Michael Kapla, Lester Lancaster, the legend. And in goal, Andrew Shortridge, Tom Aubrun, among others, to retire. Zan Oos. What a name. What a name. Let's see. Teemu Talberg's now a scout. That is what it is. All right. And again, not allowed to trade anybody or anything like that. So we got to make the most of this. It is the draft. We will have the 48th overall pick, which is still a first rounder. So let's see how this plays out. Are there any like drastic steals? Oof. Couple of teams really missed out. Phoenix, Philadelphia, Atlanta. So the quality started to dip in the first round, but some late picks were actually pretty decent. 27th overall, Rita to the Tampa Bay Tidal Wave, 77 low elite. That's insane. Those are the type of picks that have led to championship caliber teams. For the teams that have been able to find players like that. Hennessy, a medium elite. Blomdahl, 75 overall at 16th overall. Damn. Man, look at that. Top 8, all like 78 overalls. Big fuck up by the Birmingham Bulls. Allowed the Winnipeg Jets to pick up Schofield. And the top pick was Taves, who goes to Quebec. So we're actually going to have to call a timeout here. because we have about 48 players to look at. So let's go ahead and pin any player that's showing up with a half-decent potential. And we will see if there is a steal possibility. Hopefully there will be. For this late in a round. A lot of low sixes all of a sudden. Medium elite goalie Vitaly Kavanov. Not bad at all. A couple of 2 out of 4 low elites. We got to look for better than that at this stage. That's starter goalie Aginla. 3 out of 4 low elite Tate Olchek. And okay, I think we are good. So. Goalies. There are a couple. Felipe Nemish. Not going to have a great starting overall. 5 years out, no abilities. Vitaly Kavanov. Be like low 60s. Defense. Tate Olchek. B's and C's. It's not bad. 4 years out. Mac Beauclair. Potentially 3 years out. He looks to be a bit of a risk, but he might be our best option so far. Ken Westgarth. Mostly C is 1B in physical. 4 years out at 17. All right. And then Jake Allen. Season B's 3 years out at a medium 4. At least we know what we'd be getting. On the wing, Jackson Dorsett. Not the best overall. 4 years out. Unconfirmed. Unstoppable force. Henrik Lindgren. 19 years old. From Färjestad. Definitely not him. Elijah Pacioretty. Not looking great. And then down the middle, Christian Hedin. 4 years out as well. Honestly, it's a bit of a tough call. All 3 of these forwards are 4 years out. You'd probably lean towards Hedin because he's the youngest of the bunch. And then defensively, Allen's the safe bet, but the other 2 are half decent in terms of risk. Do we risk it for one of these 2 or go with the safe bet of Hedin or Allen? I feel like we're in a position we've already won a cup. We have to go for it, right? I mean, the 3 out of 4 medium elite. I think we got to risk it for Mr. Beauclair. I think we do. Oh, Marc Beauclair, how good are you? How good are you? He is the medium 4, 60 overall. It was worth the risk. Didn't quite work out, but it was worth the risk. Allen was only 4 overall points better. Hedin was 1 point. Pacioretty. We really couldn't have gone wrong with whoever we picked. So. Tubert, a low elite, but we didn't really know about him. Nemish was a 48 overall. I want to see that other goalie. There is another goalie, another 48 overall medium elite. Yeah, we couldn't have really gone wrong. It was worth going for who we went for, though. Kavanov was a 57. So, we did okay. Round number 2, 96th overall pick. There is Mike Aginla. I don't know if I trust that, but it might be interesting to trust it. There is Tate Olczyk again. Low 6 I'd like to avoid. We can aim higher than that. Kurt Atkinson would really be best guess. 1 out of 4 for a medium elites. Henrik Lindgren's back in the conversation. Brandon Lowe. Alright, we're not going to have as many high-end options this time. There is a... Ooh. 19 years old, but confirmed medium 4, might have an X factor. We're going to have to look at that for sure. That guy might be a steal and a half. Dave Ollie, unconfirmed magnetic, wouldn't trust that. There's actually some depth to this draft, even though we're picking late. That's good. Another low elite. We'll have to call another timeout. As is typically the case early on in a draft. And yeah, there's a real fear that quality is going to drop after this pick, so we have to make the most of it. So let's see, goalie-wise, there's only one, and it is Mike Iginla. Don't know if we want a goalie necessarily. Defensively, 3 out of 4 low elite. Tate Olczyk is back. That worries me that he's a low 4, to be honest. Then there's Jorgensen. Mr. Von Strangle. Unconfirmed yoink. 19 years old, 5 years out. I know he's got a confirmed potential. He's not him. Lionel Sylvester. Pretty big risk. Not much to go off of for him. Jacques Denis, a teammate of our first round pick on the Acadie Bathurst Titan. Also just a huge risk. All right, so we're not going to have a safe pick here, are we? Maurice Laperriere had a great point total in the queue by the standards of this stage of the draft. Total shot in the dark. Henrik Lindgren, 19 years old, 5 years out. Don't like that. Don't like that at all. Left wing, Mikhail Chistov. 5 years out, pure shot in the dark. Garrett Hutchinson is 20. 4 years out, 20 years old. Nope. And Brandon Lowe. Also pure best guess. Well, it's either we risk it for a low elite at 2 out of 4, we take the 3 out of 4 low elite, or we go for the goalie in Mike Iginla. What is our goaltending outlook right now? We have Winchester in the system. Nicky Rue is still there. Vinny and Rotzlaff. It wouldn't hurt to get another goalie in the system. It wouldn't. I think we do it. Because honestly, our defense doesn't look that bad right now. Warrior, you gotta love when it happens, right? But it's good to see you. Welcome in. We're gonna go for Mike Iginla. I know I can check in the message center, but I want to scroll all the way for the drama. 56 medium starter. I mean, that's not the worst case scenario, you know? But certainly not amazing. Certainly not amazing. LOL at Twitter working as intended. Yeah, no kidding, right? But there is Mr. Iginla. We go to the third round. Should be a little bit easier to get to the rest of this draft in quick order. We got a couple of 2 out of 4 medium elites. There is still Sylvester. There's going to be a couple of these low elites that we could take the risk on. Or we go for Garrett Hutchinson, but again, he was 20 years old. It's not worth it. There is Connor Friggin. Connor Friggin. 3 out of 4, low 6. I don't know if I trust that potential. Or there are some medium 9s, but I feel like we got to aim higher than medium 9. Well, it's going to be one of those medium elites. It's one of these 3. Even though it's a little bit early to take them, but if they end up being good, it's worth it. I also just noticed 2 out of 3 are 19 years old. So Larry Doherty of the Niagara Ice Dogs. Congratulations, you are the pick. He was a medium 7th. Not great. Pick 192. Warrior, congrats on being an uncle twice over. It's a heck of a feeling. All right. Let's go for Boris Nazarov. Come on, Boris. Low 6. Shit. Well, these risk picks are not currently working out too well for us. We'll go for the last one that we care about. Connor Friggin. Medium 9. Well, fuck. All right. 6th round pick. What do we got? What do we got? Not much. Let's go for Norm. Well, you're 19 years old, so maybe not. We'll go for 18-year-old Jerome Fontaine. Low bottom 6. Oh, man. And the final pick of the draft, Mr. Irrelevant at 336. I mean, Central Scouting says it should be Sam Alberts. So, you know what? Screw it. When in doubt, who's the tallest goalie? It's a bunch of 6'4" goalies, so that doesn't help. But there is a 17-year-old 6'4" goalie named Eddie Strong, who was a medium AHL starter. Lundstrom, what's going on? I think it's Lundstrom at least. Let me know. I wasn't sure with the X. What's going on? Starting away, Mr. 7 at first. Fair enough. Fair enough. I wasn't sure if it was Lundstrom or not. But what is going on? So yeah, the rest of that draft for us was hot garbage. We did okay with the first 2 picks, but not amazing, as to be expected when you're selecting that late in a draft. So the whole RFA situation, this is about to get... Oh, no, it's not Lundstrom, it's Landstrom. It's an A. I remember that, because I saw the news today that, at least if you are who I'm thinking you are, that you got signed today by Northern Star, which is awesome. As an ex-Franz fan. I thought so. I always want to... Whenever I see that name, I always just think Lundstrom instead of Landstrom, so I apologize for that. But what's going on? And congrats, by the way. All right, so let's check this. Emil Vinny, who's been our backup, wants $6.6 million. That's not going to happen. We'll be qualifying him and waiting to see what happens. Nick Russia wants a dirt cheap deal, which is great. Nicky Roo, you got it. I will offer you that deal. It's perfect. Perfect. Defensively, most of our players are locked up. Some of them are getting paid way too much, but that's okay. Burned Bakos. Qualified. Virtanen. I mean, he's an AHL beast as an offensive defenseman, but I don't know about him. Little still has potential to get better. Waiting for NHL 24. I hear you. I hear you. Cizikas, I'm not sure either. And Pierralla is signed. So, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. Oh, boy. Technically, we could aim to keep Virtanen and Cizikas. You could argue why sign Cizikas, and you would be totally right. 5th round pick in 2028. We're not going to keep this guy. Numbers rolling in with the 5 gifted bomb. Thank you for that, sir. My goodness. What's the occasion? Was it payday? Was it payday? What's the occasion? I appreciate it nonetheless. Thank you for that. All right, let's move on. Forwards. Oh, no. So we know that Sekala Wants 7.7. We gotta hold off. Before we get to NHL 24, we must endure the pain of spending $70 for Madden 24. I mean, I'll enjoy it if I don't get it for free, but, you know. Qualify Sakala. Asher Moses, playoff MVP. He wants to get paid. He deserves to, but I don't know if it'll be by us. The GOAT, Justin Dezote. It's Bobby Bonilla Day. Fair. I will say, if you ever come to Australia, Tasmania is the place to go. But what about the Devils? Been a while and I get scared to watch streams because I'm too far behind. Well, not today. Not today. How about that? How about that? Today's your lucky day. Lindgren. That's a qualifying offer. Vukafuji. That's a qualifying offer. All right. And then centers, Delorier is definitely getting a qualifying offer because he wants... Actually, he dropped his price a little bit. Okay, so for forwards. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Not really. Okay, so yeah, it actually works out to keep our players. It does. If we're not going to sign certain people... I mean, someone like Tate Booth isn't worth keeping around. He did score 25 goals last year in the AHL, but this guy is just career ECHLer. So we are going to drop Tate Booth. Russ Ray is a tough one because he's almost NHL caliber. I think we'll qualify Russ Ray and Dezote the GOAT, but outside of that, we're not too worried. Mr. Oswald. I gotta be honest. 2023 7th rounder. He's one of our OGs. I can't justify paying $2 million for a fourth liner. I'm sorry, Vit, but after 574 games as a Whaler, we're gonna let you go. Because we got way too much money up in the air right now. Russia accepted. That leaves us with just under $28 million to sign everybody else. And we got to wait for some of these guys to accept their offers. We got to hope that we land some successful offer sheets. Dezote, Vukafuji have signed. That brings us down to $23.6 million. All right. This is going to be interesting. The hope is that we will see a successful offer sheet. And our coaching staff that won the cup, too, is pretty much good to go. But yeah, that's the hope, is that someone will send an offer sheet and that it'll work out very, very well for us. Let's go ahead and sign these A-minuses, and that's pretty much all we have to do. Anastasia Sharoff. All right. So again, we're not allowed to partake in free agency, but I'd imagine it's a pretty nuts free agent class. If you look at RFAs, yeah, we're not the only ones who are in a little bit of trouble. Not at all. Wow. UFA-wise, people are looking to get paid. That's for sure. That's for sure. Wow, what's it looking like for goalies? McMuffin wants almost 10 million bucks. Yeah, as expected, the cap situation for this scenario franchise is fucking bonkers. Absolutely wild. All right, and we're just going to wait it out with a lot of our players, the RFAs, to see what happens. How is this going to play out? Jacques Delorier accepts the qualifying offer. Asher Moses is back. Russ Ray. Daryl Little. No offer sheets yet. No offer sheets as of yet. Doesn't look like there are going to be any. So we get to the preseason. After a pretty quiet offseason, we have $20.6 million to sign our RFAs, including Emil Vinny, for whatever reason on a 2-year deal. He's only looking for 1.7. I'll give him 1.8 for 2 years, and hopefully he takes that. That would be a great contract for us. Mr. Bakos, I'm good with the 1-year deal. For Tannen, go 2-year deal. And then for forwards, Lindgren, 1-year deal. Jumps from 3.5 to 8.1. And Sakala, yeah, 1-year deals pretty much across the board. It is going to be a very similar offseason next year. We have to abuse RFA status for as long as we can. Because once these guys become UFAs, we're in a real bad spot. So goalie-wise, it'll be Ratzlaff and Vinny, Russi and Winchester. So we don't need to sign anybody else. Defense. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We don't have room for anybody else, so nothing to do there. Forward-wise, unsigned. There's pretty much nobody to sign anyway. Let's have like Connor Friggin. So I think we're set up about as well as we can be. So it's a Ratzlaff and Vinny, who are technically both elite level goaltenders in this league. Defense, Jesus Christ. What the hell are we going to do here? I think I'm going to have to base it. Yeah, Dragosevich is getting paid 7.7. He's technically no longer a top 2 defenseman. He previously was. It is the last year of his deal, though. I think I have to base it off of potential. Like, Little, you'd want in the NHL level, but he can hopefully control things at the AHL level. It's like, do you play the low elites? Parker's a medium 7th. Skinner's a medium 6th. Seidenberg definitely plays at the NHL level. So does Watkins. Stajan. Chow doesn't have the best potential, but he's decent. Same for Ivanov. Let's say we get Bakos back up there. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Leaves us room for one more guy. And you'd think it should be Little or Stolars, right? I mean, there's Ivanov and Chow, who are both good by the standard, but we want certain players to develop. Be a left side or a right side defender. Like, do we play Little to get him to develop, or do we roll with Ivanov or Chow? Ivanov, very well-rounded. Good skating, good passing. Chow, very well-rounded, terrible skater. I think we go with Ivanov. I think we do. That's not a bad little setup there. And again, the fact that all of these guys are listed as top 4 defenders is kind of hilarious to me. So. All right. Forward-wise, this will be a little bit more interesting, I'm sure. Got to call up Sakala. So Landeskog, Sakala, Moses. And then it's either Keith, Ray, Dezote. Probably not Hedman. Old Jason Keith. Decent skater, decent shot. Russ Ray, not a great skater. And Dezote, decent skater, heavy shot, not much accuracy. I feel like it's going to be Keith or Dezote. And it's probably going to be Keith because he was the guy who was on the fourth line last year and it worked. Left wings. Would I really be under the skater limit? Call up Lindgren here. I mean, left wing, that works out pretty well. It's the same 4 that we had last year. Neil doesn't make the team, but he's a low bottom 6, so it's not that big of a deal. Center is, as always, the problem. Got Ombul as a medium 6, Delorier, and Zane Murray. We played in the minors last year after spending his rookie year in the NHL. Actually, he went back to junior and fucking crushed it. 102 points in 64 games for Oshawa, which is awesome. Who goes to the AHL? Jalen Shepard's only a medium bottom 6. Wait, he's only a medium bottom 6? Did his potential drop or... Well, that makes the decision easy. I could have sworn he had a better potential than that. I could have sworn. Maybe I was thinking of Delorier. Well, cool. That makes it pretty easy for me then. I'm not going to fire a head coach who won the Stanley Cup. So Landeskog, probably Sekala, Moses, Keith. Delorier on the second line, probably Murray Ombul. And then Bell on the second. I mean, that is a team that could very well compete for a Stanley Cup right there. Defending champions. And I think they could get it done. I think they could win again. So let's see. Probably drop even off. I mean, Seidenberg, Watkins, Bako, Stajan, Ivanov, Dragisevich. Good depth throughout the lines. As long as we don't clinch the #1 seed, because I am convinced the President's Trophy curse is real. As long as we don't clinch that #1 seed, I think this team can win another title. I mean, that was pretty much the key for us last year, was we didn't win the President's Trophy. And it worked out very, very well for us. Fortunately, the AHL coach is not a good fit at all defensively. Do we have anybody who's not in the lineup that needs to be in the lineup? Nikulin. Skinner in the AHL is rough. It is, but again, I mean, he's a little bit older. And we can't bank on him developing like some of the other options. So, AFC, thank you for the 11 months on the primer. I am doing pretty well. And hopefully you feel the same way. I am excited to see what this team can do. I am, and we're going to sim this pretty much right now. I mean, all I have to do is just fix up the scouting staff really quickly. Again, I could fix up the AHL head coach, but then I'd have to fire the goalie coach. It's just like, leave it. It's fine. Honestly, I don't feel like the defensive chemistry is all that important. I'm going to say it. Famous last words. Let's get a WHL scout in there. We need US East and US West. North America. Ender, what's going on as well? Good to see you. All right, whoops. USA East. Our backyard. Let's see. We need extra liga. Let's see. We got extra liga and ice. The Extraliga. We need Swiss League. and Germany. And from there, honestly, it's pretty much fine. Works for me. So let's see. It's the hope of repeating. We won one cup. The question is, how many can we win? We don't let too many series run like that to be like, okay, how many can we win? Normally it feels like, well, we won once. Challenge done. But let's see what we got. I will check free agency, by the way, really quickly, too. Yep, there's quite a few players who are going to sit out this season from the looks of it. One Avco Cup, indeed. Yeah, there are quite a few guys who might sit out this season. But let's see the Indianapolis Racers to kick off our season. I do want to take a look at our grades. 77, 71, and a 76. Their offense is also a 77. A little bit surprising given that we have Landeskog and Misa, but what are you going to do? All right. Operation get the 2 seed in the playoffs again. That is the goal. Can we land the 2 seed in the playoffs one more time? 0-3 to start the year is not what I had in mind. Stanley Cup hangover. Shit. All right, not worried about the draft class. Again, famous last words. Can't imagine that we will have a high draft pick. I mean, we are essentially running it back with the same exact team. But not exactly off to a high-flying start this year. Not at all. No need to panic yet. No need to panic. Richard Panik. And I hate that the sim's a little bit slower because of 48 teams, but what are you going to do? All right, 14-8-0. Where will we stand as of December 1st? Buffalo Bulldogs, I didn't see if we did get the win, and we did, actually. So 18-10-0. Not bad. After an 0-3 start, Landeskog's a point-per-game player. Where are we struggling? Goaltending so far hasn't been amazing. Community Patrol, what is happening? Seidenberg and Watkins have been okay. Bakos and Stajan have not. We got to break up Bakos and Stajan. Honestly, we'll go Dragisevich and Bakos even off Stajan. I don't want Stajan on the third pair, though. I don't have much of a choice, though. I think Stajan has power play time. He does. He should be okay. Actually, the other option, not as if that top pair has been crushing it. We'll go Bakos, Watkins, Seidenberg, Stajan. Works for me. Again, Landeskog, we know, is a point per game. Medium franchise player, former first overall pick. 17 points for Tuukka Sekala, -4. Asher Moses is broken. This guy's a goddamn cheat code. Oh my god. And then Keith. And it's not as if Moses is putting up points on that third line. So Moses, I mean, fuck. I need Sekala on the second line, though, for his development. That's the problem. I need to hope. Because Lindgren's done pretty well. I need to hope that this team can just make it into the playoffs. And then once we get into the playoffs, we can put the best people for the best spots, you know, into the best spots. But I'm still needing to worry about player development a little bit, so I'm going to keep it the same as far as the forwards are concerned, and I'm sure most of those points for Asher Moses are power play related. They have to be, basically. But we have looked very good, and now, because I've said that, we'll be shit. But we have looked very good since the start of the season. Moses wants all the money. Moses is about to part the Red Seas and walk his ass right into the bank. That's what he's going to do. 25, 13, and 2. 8-7 shootout loss to Edmonton, by the way. Pretty nuts. 6-1 loss to the Raiders as well. So Connor Bedard and company got a little bit of revenge. Again, the division structure does not work like the modern NHL, so right now we'd have no guarantees we're actually in a playoff spot, despite being in second in the Hunter division. It's all about wins. That's it. Around the entire league, it's not how we intended to set up the playoff structure. It's just kind of what happened, and it's worked out pretty well. It's made for some very interesting postseasons. But it does make the regular season kind of nerve-wracking. Whalers actually won the first ever Africa Cup. Damn right, we got a winning tradition. A beautiful winning tradition. Have we won a title? We did. We are the defending champions. And I'd like to think with a record like this, we're going to be playoff bound yet again. Big game here against Hamilton. Big win. Couple losses, though. Wow, we've had a real bad stretch. Top record in the division was up for grabs. We still haven't clinched a playoff spot. Now we have, after defeating Portland. So as defending champions, we will be back in the postseason. 49, 31, and 2. Let's talk about the season that was. So in the Hunter division, ourselves and the Hamilton Hounds, who had a great season. The overtime losses propelled them over us. But ourselves and Hamilton make it out of the Hunter division. The Kaplan division sees the New Jersey Knights, the New York Raiders, Philadelphia Blazers, and Washington Phoenix all make the playoffs. Hatskin division, Baltimore, Atlanta, and the Birmingham Bulls. Very, very strong division. 3 teams make it out of it. Over in the Davidson Conference, the West, we have the Murphy division with San Jose, Vancouver, and Portland all making the playoffs. The Dano division sees Oklahoma City and the Indianapolis Racers make the postseason. When you get tired of using the Whales, if you consider taking over the worst team and rebuilding them to keep this going. I wish, but I can't because I don't have owner mode on, so there's no owner contracts or GM firing. Baldwin division is Houston and Phoenix making it as well. So in the entirety of the league, we were the 7th best team. Okay, so no 1 seed or 2 seed for us this time. That's a little bit scary. That's a little bit scary. Goals for per game at a 3.35, so we were tied for a top 5 offense in the league. 2.66 goals against average, tied for 2nd lowest. So we have a great offense and a phenomenal defense and goaltending set. As this season, 85 points from Michael Misa. You had Delorier on 57, Ambul and Murray both with 23. Identical 16 and 7 lines. On the wing, 66 points, 41 goals for Johan Lindgren, Vuka Fuji, and Bell, both over 40 points. Bell was outscored by a 3rd liner. Power play time, though. Ahonen, 17 points on the 4th line. And, of course, we already know Landeskog crushed it. 62 points for Moses, 56 for Sekala, 23 for Jason Keith. Defensively, no one in particular led the way, but everyone did pretty well in terms of points, ranging from 21 to 38. Ivanov and Dragicevic, our 3rd pair, was our worst pair. So, go figure. And goaltending-wise, honestly, if Scotty Rotzloff was better, we might have won the number 1 seed. He had a pretty bad regular season, but again, he was electric in the playoffs last season. He will still be our starter because it's not as if Emil Vinny, blew the doors off. He was good, but he wasn't great. Around the league, 116 points for Vancouver's Russ Volk. You also have Zach Benson up there for Hamilton. Theo Ko, again, for those who have watched this. These are all very familiar names. However, there is one person who really stands out. There he is, due to his absence, Connor Bedard. Still had 54 goals and 103 points. Again, this is Bedard's career numbers at age 25 in this run with the New York Raiders. Pure insanity. Goal scoring king this year with 66 was Derek McIntosh. Derek McIntosh, former 4th overall pick in 2027 of San Jose. 360 goal scorers this year. Theo Ko, by the way, also has a pretty ridiculous stat line. So, defensively, he's maybe the most dominant AI-generated defenseman I've ever seen. He's up there. Caleb Purcell of the New York Golden Blades. This guy is a freak. And again, he was a 3rd-round pick in year 1. And out of 48 teams, the Golden Blades were the lucky ones to land him. This guy is insane. Almost 1,000 career penalty minutes, but is over a point per game as a defenseman. Absolute freak. He's like Victor Hedman if Victor Hedman had anger management issues. It's crazy. Top goal scorer was the other defenseman that stands out above the rest. Washington's Yves Perry, who was a 2nd overall pick. And yeah, this guy is also insane. Just under a point per game, though, which is a little bit surprising. He started off a little bit slower than his current pace. Winningest goaltender with 40, Nathan Darveau. 5'8" for San Jose. Amazing. Shutout leader, tied a bunch of goalies tied with 6. Colombe, Cody Slaney, Thomas Milic, Austin Copeland, and Kimo Rinas. Save percentage leader, Marshall Locke of the Quebec Nordiques. Rookie race with 83 points, Junior Peters. 7th overall in last year's draft to the New Jersey Knights. Yeah, they'll give it to him over Andrei Bikov. Damn. So that is the season in the books. We are lined up to potentially make our way all the way back to the finals. At least I hope we are. It'll be in a rematch of last season's final. We take on Bedard and the Raiders in the first round.